at my Liberty University.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Bueller.
Bueller. Adamson.
Adamson. Oh, she knows the movie. She knows the movie. Oh, hoochie coochie. Okay, check this out. So we finalized our publishing waka 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 waka. We finalized our publishing launch last night, and it all came to a big celebration. It was so awesome, so amazing to be able to do that. We've got almost 100 folks that we're going to be publishing, and it's super exciting, really, really cool. And so now we get to now the work really begins, right? Roll up our sleeves. Here we go. It's going to be awesome. But we want to invite you to join us right here, right now. If you want, you can just click on the link above this video. There's a link. It says StreamYard up there.com. And then it's got a bunch of codes and numbers. And you click on that link and you can join us live. You can pitch your book. You can ask your question and come on in. The water is fine. But we do have a show planned today. We are going to be talking specifically about marketing mindset. Okay. And is it okay to market? Is it okay to market your book? Is it okay to do Christian marketing? We're going to talk about some of those things, but we want to open it up. You can come on in. You can join us live if you want. Click on the link up above. Now, if you're trying to push that link right now on there, clearly you don't understand the internet. It won't work. We're going to be pushing on that all day long. But if you want to sit there and type it in, you certainly can. But it's up at the top. You can click the link and you can join us. Come on in. We would love to have you. Hey, Georgia, good to see you. Good to have you. So, Dr. Nelson, we launched publishing. We've got almost 100 people that we're going to be publishing. We're so excited. It's cool. We've got the pay-as-you-go publishing. We've got the VIP publishing. So what are your thoughts? I mean, how has this journey been for you specifically?
Yeah, my thoughts are this is exciting, and it's exciting to roll up your sleeves and really get in there and work with people and help them now publish that thing that they've unlocked. Yeah, it's really it's surreal. We've said that before, but this is absolutely like I eat, drink, and breathe publishing and media and writing and creating, and it's just this whole other world. It's like an organism, and so to be able to find a tribe of people, all of our amazing Unlocking Your Book folks, and to link arms with this tribe and do this thing and get unlocked and get published and get these books out there that are going to change history. Yes. We're working with a bunch of history makers, aren't we?
Come on. It's rad. It's super rad. And we just want to let all of you that are Unlocking Your Book members know, man, we just love you. We love our members. We love our publishing authors. We love all of you. It's such a joy, such an honor to walk on this journey. We're going to be talking about marketing today, and we've got a couple of people that are going to be joining us live because this is Unlocking Live. You can just click the link and join us anytime. So we got Angie Stumbo that's going to be coming in a couple of minutes. We are going to be talking about a marketing mindset. So I want to dive into that just a little bit because this is like your value system, your thought life, and your belief system. It really has to change. It has to come under the government of the Holy Spirit. It has to come under the influence of the Word of God. It can't just be where we adopt and adapt any system out there that's just working, like the latest trend or the latest strategy. While some of those strategies and trends are like really awesome and really good, and you should use them and we should use them. Not all of those trends and those strategies really are the right schematic, the right blueprint, the right roadmap from a kingdom mindset perspective. And so we actually taught this. We taught this, and we talked about specifically a 3-part marketing mindset for the Christian author, for the Christian writer. And I'll just we'll just tease it a little bit, and then let's have Angie come in and ask her question, and then we can come back to it. But that marketing mindset, I mean, for you, Krissy, has it changed? Like, has your mindset changed? Has your belief system and your value system changed at all? I mean, the good, the bad, the ugly. Has it changed at all for you just here in the last 6 to 12 months?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. For me personally, the Lord really highlighted this very narrow pathway to get to this land that he had for me. And he identified that was linking arms with a marketing plan, linking arms with somebody that could help and a team that could help hone in on the messaging and really to get the message out and to cross over into this land. And I'd never seen it that way before, but it was something that I lacked. I needed help. I needed backup. I needed reinforcement in that area because I didn't fully understand. It's like I'm still forming the language, but before, yes, there was a disconnect. When I started writing books, there was a disconnect. I felt like I just could kind of sit back and let the book be enough marketing. Like the book would do its job and somehow have like a megaphone. And that
Sure.
isn't the reality. It's like, you're the megaphone because you're the messenger. So you've got to be that voice, partner with the Holy Spirit. And that is marketing.
Absolutely.
You got to open your mouth, release your voice and share with the world what it is that you've put in this book and, what God gave you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, there's a stewardship. There's a responsibility that we have. And we use the word or the term marketing, and we've used marketing and advertising, for years, like, long before I came onto planet Earth here. Not like I came from another planet, but although people might think that or feel that, that's okay. But, marketing's been around for a really long time. But I think a lot of Christian writers and authors really struggle with what's okay, what's not okay. And this is all about your mindset. So what is a mindset? It is your set of values and your belief system. Whatever your values are, whatever your belief system, so goes your life. However you value, however you think, however you believe, then so goes your life. So goes your behavior. So goes your emotions. So goes what you will do or you will not do. So in our 3-part marketing mindset, we teach this. Marketing isn't closing sales. It is opening relationships. No. So that's the mindset shift and the mindset change that has to take place really for any writer or really any author or anyone that is attempting to build a business or build something online that creates movement, that creates a tribe that has a cause. It's not sales, it's relationships. It's starting the conversation. So don't think of marketing as sales specifically, especially in this day, in this era that we live of the whole entire landscape has changed completely. It doesn't look the same. It's not a phone book. It's not telemarketing. It's not door-to-door sales. It's not billboards on the highway. It's conversations and the relationships that you start, that you begin in this atmosphere and culture of social media. And that's really, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. But we have some folks that are going to join us today. So very cool. So Angie is coming on in the next 30 seconds. Glad to have Angie with us. Very cool. Let's get started. Let's get going. Hey, Angie Stumbo, how are you? Thanks for being on Unlocking Live with us today. Love you, appreciate you. How can we help you? What really hard, difficult, challenging question do you have for Krissy?
It's always for Krissy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The easy ones, please pass them my way. The hard ones, please send those to Krissy. We appreciate that.
I guess I'm just keeping it real here. I didn't know I was supposed to have a question. I thought I was just logging in.
Come on.
But I do have a question.
Yes.
First of all, I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm not going to say a lot because I don't want to get emotional.
Aww.
But just the confirmation and affirmation and everything I've had from doing this Unlocking Your Book has been huge for me. Because I've been all alone doing this by myself,
Yeah.
And stuff. But I guess I have a book that I published through kind of a hybrid thing. It was sort of they didn't call it self-publishing. They called themselves a publisher, but and I was really very disappointed with it. I pulled all my rights back and everything. And what had happened was I had this earth-shattering, again, with the emotions. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay. Hey, we're live. It's all good.
Okay.
Go for it. Rock and roll.
This is me.
Yeah.
It's okay. Me too.
Yay. Kindred spirits. But I had this earth-shattering encounter with God that just completely rewrote my personal theology and doctrine. And through a whole set of circumstances over like a period of 6 years, things just kept getting, my slogan became subject to change without notice, because that's how fast he was changing things in me. Mm-hmm. And then I got all these words of encouragement and knowledge and stuff about, you need to write. I see you with a box of pencils, and for years. And then one day, finally, someone came up and said, you need to write in the Times Now. And I was like, oh, I get it now. So then through a whole set of circumstances, I wrote this book, which was basically my journey into this, into this huge realization of the goodness of God. And my first book I wrote, I'm going to be totally frank, was basically me just regurgitating everything that he had done. And it was pretty hard lined and not the gentle wooing I wanted it to be. So I realize now that's one of the reasons I probably pulled it back. But so my question is, I've rewritten that. I'm giving it a new title. It's got a new feel. The first one was a pretty in-depth Bible study, because I'm in an evangelical community. So if there isn't a ton of word to back it up, they don't even want to hear it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stuff. So by golly, I gave a ton of it. But I realized that it just wasn't coming across the way I wanted it to come across. And I felt like the way Holy Spirit wanted it to come across. So I rewrote the whole thing of that. Now, my sales were not horrible. They were nothing like I wanted them to be, but better than I expected, because I did what you said, Krissy. I just put it out there and expected it to do the rest of the work, and stuff. But my question in the marketing, do I need to indicate that this is a revised version of the previously titled work, blah, blah, blah? Or do I just treat this like a whole new book?
Okay, so just a quick question for you, Angie. Actually, a statement. Thank you for being transparent. Actually, it's funny because here, we're talking about a mindset, right? We're talking about a marketing mindset. So your transparency and your authenticity makes you a good leader and makes you a good communicator. The days are gone when people want to see and hear, participate, follow, or read from non-authentic, non-transparent leadership. We're always going to have that, right? Yeah. With the good, we always have the bad. With the authentic, we always have the counterfeit. And that's unfortunate, but you possess a maturity. There's been things that have been wrought and worked into your life that now you have been assimilated, right? It used to not be a part of you. You went through some things. Now it's a part of you. That's who you are.
Exactly.
And so don't apologize for that. Don't change that. Don't change that, because that's how you find your voice. That's how you discover your authentic voice. And there is more than enough people out here on great planet Earth that need Angie's voice. They won't listen to me. They won't listen to Krissy. They won't listen to other people, because you are specifically called to them. Right. You're called to help them, help solve their problem. Tell your story to them, and then flip roles and then guide them through their process. So first, that's my statement to you. Thank you for being transparent and authentic. That's exactly what our publishing company, our educational system is all about. And if you can cry, you can have boogers on this show. We don't care. It's totally cool. It's all good. But the second thing is now in regards to your marketing question. So which is like just a logistic. So yeah. You are part of the publishing, Unlocking Your Book publishing.
Yes.
Okay. Are you doing the pay as you go, or are you in the VIP?
VIP, I just upgraded.
Okay, very, very cool. So, and that really wouldn't determine whether you should go that way or this way or that way. So all you need to do for us as your publisher is just indicate that to the publishing manager. If you didn't put that like in the extra notes in the questionnaire, no big deal. So what happens when you create an account, you originally were an Unlocking Your Book member, and you went through the mentoring and you got all the education and the modules. So there's an account on file for you. And then when you decided to have us publish your book, and then you upgraded it and did the questionnaire, now there's this file called Angie. And now that we have you on video, it actually says, "We'll cry at the drop of a hat." Just kidding. So, just joking. Okay, that's okay. So we have an account, we have a file that basically tells us about you, because we want to really know who you are and what it is you're going to do. So this is what I would do. If you, inside the questionnaire, if you didn't put any details about that, no worries. You can just go ahead and email the publishing team, which is publishing@unlockingyourbook.com. And you could just let them know so that can be noted. So there could be some kind of dictation inside your file, so we know that. But as far as it is concerned with us, our publishing company doesn't keep any royalties. It's all yours, all the rights. You don't have to, it's yours regardless.
Right.
So there's really nothing other than just the clarity and the communication, so we know. Now, on the other part of your question is like the rebranding, the remessaging of some of this.
Yeah.
That I don't want to say it's easy, but it is simple. And we've done that, and we are doing that. We actually have published authors that have already published books in different capacities and different formats and different platforms that are rebranding with us because of the marketing help that they get, and just changing the book cover and changing the name. So there's really nothing to do for us other than just let the publishing team know about that particular part, so it's noted inside of your file. Easy peasy, but really simple to rebrand this. New cover, new look, new design, new messaging. And if you get the VIP, you also get the one-on-one coaching to help you with some of that as well. Did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I need to indicate somewhere in the book that this is like a revised version of, the original.
Yeah,
if someone bought the book, they would notice that, but they're really two different beasts, or two different things.
How much content are you going to change?
Pardon me?
How much of the content will you change? Are you adding things to it or taking anything out?
Yes.
Okay.
Both. I'm adding to and rewording it and just kind of changing Where before it was pretty much
Yeah.
a hardcore Bible study, like fill in the blank, look up this verse, write out, three take, it's really hardcore. I would call this more of like an interactive manual.
Mhm.
There are some things like that I have them do. Like I give them a verse in several translations and tell them to look for a certain thought and highlight it in each translation when that's the thought I'm trying to hone in on. But it's
Yeah.
more of an interactive manual than a hardcore Bible study.
Okay.
So it's going to feel very, at least my prayer is,
Yeah.
that it feels very different going through it, and just, the tone of it, and a lot less academic, because I tend to kind of go that way. I hope it's a lot more like, not less, you need to know this, and more taste and see.
Yeah.
Art.
I think it would be good, because what it sounds like, it's like a second edition.
Yeah.
It's like a mild revision and an upgrade. And I think that there should be some notation and dictation inside the book. The publishing manager and the publishing team, they will actually recommend that. It will still be up to you, because the royalties and the copyright, all the rights belong to you. It'll still be a decision of yours. The publishing team, our publishing company, isn't going to force it on you, but as the part of the publishing team, that would be my recommendation. Let's call it a second edition or a revision. I kind of like second edition with it because it's a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah.
So that way it complements the work that you've already done, and it just kind of makes people feel like you're not just changing everything. It's that this is an upgrade. This is more, and you're creating more value. So I like that idea for you. And it's as simple as just letting them know by sending an email to publishingandunlockingyourbook.com. They'll put it in the notes, and we'll have it on file, so that when we start going through that process, they're not confused. They know exactly what to do. And the reality is, they're going to come back to you and they're going to say, okay, how do you want to word this? And I think the best way to do it is probably like a second edition. I even like that better than revision. That's just my personal take. Without reading the content, I like the idea of a second edition. I don't know, Krissy, what are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Revised and enhanced, things like that, where it's a nod to the previous book, but it's you acknowledging just that word enhance and upgrade. It does the same thing, but you're acknowledging that you've made some enhancements intentionally, and so because that's part of the joy in what you're doing, is that you are taking this original work and enhancing it and stewarding it, really. And you're like, I see you like, this will be what God wants it to be, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to steward this thing with purpose. And I love that. So I agree. And those are my thoughts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
How close are you, Angie, like as far as having a manuscript to submit to us?
No
pressure. I'm just curious.
It's ready.
Wow, that's awesome. Well,
yeah, for some reason I've just been kind of sitting on it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Then poof, you guys appeared.
Man, rock and roll. We need the dance. That's the dance right there. Come on. So you're just waiting on the timeline. So when did you submit your questionnaire?
I haven't yet.
Okay, so that's it. As soon as you do your questionnaire, inside your questionnaire, just put those extra notes so that the publishing team knows it. And then, like, once you submit your questionnaire, within 7 to 10 days, the publishing team is going to be like, okay, we're ready when you're ready. Send over the manuscript, and then you're off to the races.
Okay.
What's the name of this? What's the name of the book?
Well, that's another thing I've been wrestling with. The first one was the first book initially. The title was Our Father, A Journey into the Wild, Untamed Love of God.
Ooh.
Honestly, I think maybe I've looked at it so long, I just don't like it anymore. Because I tend to be kind of creative and get tired of things and ready to move on to the next thing, and stuff. The new title I had was Deeper, A Dive Beneath the Surface of the Our Father Prayer of Jesus. Because I feel
like gracious, Angie, both of those titles are like Boom. Those are great titles.
I wrestle with titles, chapter titles,
Yeah.
all of it. Just I arm wrestle those things to the ground. It's so hard for me. But so thank you. That was really good to hear.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. So our team, our whole team is really marketing heavy, and so as we read your manuscripts, we read your summaries, we're gonna have thoughts and we're gonna have ideas for you, but just like right off the top of my head, I haven't seen your manuscript. I don't know anything about it. It sounds, I love those titles. So we're definitely going to help you with that. I'm excited. Who knows? You might be one of the first 10 in that first wave of people, because you're so far out there. That's great.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Angie, I just keep seeing this picture over you. I don't know what it means, but I just keep seeing like an adult coloring book. Do you like to do those adult coloring books?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I just see you doing that, and I see you like a child just in those adult coloring, just spending time with the Lord, like coloring and just pondering and resting and relaxing. And it's almost like this call to that place with the Lord, where just this reminder of don't forget the simpler, that simple time and those simpler things. And I just really feel that personal call to the depth beneath the surface, like you have in your book with the Lord, and just really feel his heart over you, that he loves that time with you. He really wanted to encourage you today with that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually see fresh ideas coming in those times, new ideas, new creative vision, even like potentially a children's book even coming as you just continue to go deeper. And maybe children also need this message as well, the depth to the Father's or to the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
So
well, it's all centered around he's a good father.
Yeah.
And I have discovered that most people, if you ask them, do you think God is good, they'll say, of course. But then when you push them on it, there's not a lot of bedrock there. And especially in the circle, well, I shouldn't say especially, but I see it a lot in the circle I'm in, that they believe it till push comes to shove. And then the shove came from God,
Come on.
Man, if I have grandchildren, and so I've been teaching them this every chance I get, and it's been amazing to see little ones catch it, because they catch it so fast.
Right.
They want a good dad.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Love it.
And you get to deliver that.
Yeah. So yes,
Awesome.
yes.
Thanks for what you're doing, Angie. Yes.
Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you so much. I'm really looking forward to looking at your questionnaire. I go through them, and I'm really looking forward to getting your manuscript. It's going to be fun publishing this book with you. It's going to be good.
Thank you. I agree. Thank you very much.
Or if you need anything, we love you.
Love you too.
All right. Take care. Wow. Man, you know what? I feel like we say this every time, but the reality is that this really is what it's all about, is people just like Angie, just like Angie Stumbo, just like everybody else that is out there that has yet to say yes or to pull that trigger. And it's cool. So it's good. It's awesome.
Amazing. You just feel so honored when you are face to face with someone like her.
Yeah.
She's one of our people, and there she is, and she's precious, and
and she carries it. She's carrying it. She's carrying it really, really well. So she carries, from the Lord. So let's just talk just a little bit more about the 3-part marketing mindset. And actually, we're just going to cover that one. Which is, marketing isn't closing sales. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're discussing. But while marketing isn't selling, it is connecting with your could be, would be, should be brand advocate. It's all a part of the journey. It's all about the connection. And there is that connection that should take place. And it requires our mind to shift. It requires our mindset to change, specifically about marketing, and specifically about marketing, our book. So the stewardship of the message that God has put on this inside of us. And I've worked with, and I have helped, and I have marketed for many, many writers, for many, many authors for many years. And they still had a very hard time overcoming that particular mindset, that they thought that I'll just write a book. I'll put it out on my beautiful website. I'll have a nice color and a nice logo, and I'll share it on social media, maybe a little bit of ad spend or something of that. And I'll just sell hundreds or thousands of books. And that rarely works. That mindset really doesn't work. Now, if potentially it is working for a particular writer or a particular author, it's because they've already put in the connection work. They've already put in the time. They've built that up. They've built up the connections. They've built up the conversations, and they've been solving problems long enough that they don't have to spend a lot of time in the actual marketing of the book. They just come out with new content, and those would be, could be, should be's, they're just like there.
Yeah.
So it's connection in this era that we live in is the currency. Connection and engagement happen as people start to ask questions. They start to make comments. They start to like, they start to share, and your connection and your engagement is the currency of you getting the message out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the major shift that happened internally for me, was that shift from feeling like I was promoting myself to realizing that I am simply stewarding a message. I'm squeezing out the oil of the words, the truths, the revelation, the life, the experience, the encounters that God has given. And I'm squeezing out the oil so that every drop can go out and saturate the earth. Yep. And where it lands and how it's received, that's all up to the Lord. My job isn't to control that outcome. My job is only to do what's right, and that is squeezing out the oil of what God has given to me as an author. And that's what each of us are to do. And so connecting with people, that's why the whole climate of the publishing industry has shifted over the last couple of decades. It's because the traditional publishers realize that, book sales occur out of relationship anymore. And so they want you to have all that before you come to them, and that's what I love about what we're doing, is that we're helping to foster that in people. Like we're coming alongside and helping people to do that. And it's like, Mark, like what I was just thinking about this with module 3, with the marketing, what you offer in the mentoring is you're giving people the vehicles, the various, like, you don't know what you don't know. And so we have as the author, we've got the words, the message, but we don't always know all the different vehicle options to get it out there. And so I love that you come along and you are showing people, you can use this vehicle, this one, here's how you use it. Here's how you plug into it. Here's some ideas and tips for you. And then as authors, we can take that and run with it, Yeah.
And it's, you don't change you, right? Yeah. That's what's messed up with marketing. Like if you have to become a different person, if you have to change who you are, you're fake. And that, if you have to change who you are in order to get sales, that's gross. Yeah. That's nasty. That's disgusting. And nobody wants that. Nobody likes that. Now Linda's going to be coming on in a minute. I see you back there on the dashboard, Linda, she'll be in the green room. Linda's going to be coming in. She's got a question for us. You guys can join us anytime you want. Just join the live show. The link is at the top. Just click on it, StreamYard.com, and we'll let you into the green room, and then we'll bring you on. But the idea here for us is the reality that people want connection, not perfection. So if you have to change who you are and you have to become someone else, then you're going to miss out on the anointing that's available to you as a messenger. So if you're a writer and author, you have to change your mindset that you are a voice. You are a messenger. And it's not just, I'm a writer, I'm an author, I'm going to put out a book, and I did my job. You have the responsibility and really a privilege to connect with people. And people don't care about perfection. They really care about the connection. They don't care about how perfect everything is. They don't care about how perfect your website is. They don't care how perfect your marketing is. And they definitely don't even care how perfect you are, but they do care about the authenticity, about the genuineness of the connection that you're making with them, and they can feel it. They know it, and it's like chasing sales. What a drag! What a drag to wake up in the morning and go to bed at night feeling like I got to make sales. I got to make sales. I got to sell books. That's miserable life. It certainly is not God's plan or purpose for anyone. And for you as a writer or an author and the primary marketer behind your brand, behind your message, that's no way to live. It's just not the right way for you to live. You might not actually physically ever meet the people that engage with you on social media or the people that buy your book, but they should be able to see you. They should be able to hear your voice. They should be able to get to know you, and you position yourself in such a way that they get to know you. That's not chasing sales. That's creating relationships and building bridges with people. It's kind of like if you're developing a movie or a screenplay. Linda, we're coming to you in just a little bit. You're developing a movie, a screenplay, an episode, a story, a show. You're developing what's called characters inside of that. What a boring story if you don't develop the characters. It's just boring. So people are saying, why are we watching this? Why are we reading this? It's because I want to know a little bit about the characters. I want to know a little bit about their life. I want to know a little backstory. So you have to develop yourself. You have to position yourself as the character in that story. And you really are the greatest marketer and advocate of your book by positioning yourself. And as you're sharing that story and developing that character, what's going to happen is, as people start to engage with you and your story, like, this is what I faced and this is how I overcame it, the role flips. They come, they listen to your story, they listen to what it is that you have to offer, the before and the after state. But now the role switches, and now you're helping them write their own story, and you're helping them win in their own battle. And that's a powerful thing to be able to do as a messenger. Like your book, Creative for the Impossible, Slaying the Giant of Fear. You had to go through that. You had to live it. You had to do it. And then as people start to engage with the character, then the role flips. And now you're helping them understand and come to the realization and the revelation that they're creative for the impossible, that they can slay the giant of fear, and you're going to show them how to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Amen. All right, so Linda, you're coming on in. Linda, get ready. Here we go. Welcome to the show. Hey. Hi, Linda. How art thou?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can
you hear me?
You're kind of choppy. Are you in a helicopter?
Funny. That would be fun.
That would be fun. Hey, you just run with it. It's you're really grainy, but it's probably just internet or whatever. But don't sweat it. We'll just go along with it. How can we help you today? What's your hard, difficult question for Krissy?
Nice. I love how you pass that off to her. It's fabulous. No, it's actually more of a marketing question. I have like 3 different things that I'm doing.
Okay.
So I have a potential, I don't even know what to call what I do, Jeremiah, because I write these word pictures out. And to me, the picture is very much a part of the story for people who aren't visual. And so I think that, yeah, I could do like a devotional, but they're really short stories. I don't know how to market that. I don't know how to present that on social media. The other thing is I was thinking the ebook that I was going to do was, again, a short allegory, the one I started in the community. But then I heard you, excuse me, I heard you say yesterday that the ebook should be a part of your book. Well, I'm also working on more of a fantasy. It's still very allegorical, kind of like Narnia is, if you know the Lord. But if you don't know the Lord, then it's just a fun story.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess, where do I begin is my question. Like, do I do my ebook as part of the book I'm writing, which I'm about halfway through?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I do a quick turnover with what you said? You've read probably some of the things that I've done in the community, the word pictures.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do I do those? And if I illustrate it, do I have you illustrate it so that I have that kind of, so that there's some continuity in the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all the same, kind of like a brand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
Yeah. So my first thought is, don't, because you are creative. I've seen some of your work. I've seen your copy, and I've seen some of the graphic and the design and the word pictures and things that you're using to kind of illustrate the story. So my concern for you would that if you were to maybe do the ebook now, that it would stop the flow. So I would not stop the flow. Maybe potentially what you could do is go ahead and finish what you have in front of you, what you have started, and then you could go back, because it's a completed work. And I'm talking, your manuscript is done, your illustration is done, everything really is kind of packaged, all of the branding. And then we can go back in and look in and get some thoughts and some ideas. And I do realize that for fiction, it's tough to do some kind of an ebook, and an ebook isn't always the best way to actually splinter that content. What it might be for something that's fiction like that is to maybe do a chapter, or maybe to do a couple of chapters that people could just download. So that might be the road to go, is that, go ahead and finish what you have started until completion. And then what you could do for the marketing purpose and simply to splinter the content is to actually just take a chapter or 2 and make that available on the website. Now, as far as the illustration goes, I really like what I've already seen you do. And I think maybe a way to do it is just to have those 3, 4, 5 lines of copy that's from the book, and then you have a graphic. I'm talking about for social media, that you have a graphic that doesn't have text over the top of it, that just explains a little bit. You choose your copy first, and then you choose your graphic. So those are some ways and some things that you could do that. And then as far as the illustrator goes, so we have an illustrator that can do it for you. You can do it yourself, or you can outsource that, or however you want to do that. We definitely can do the illustration, but I know sometimes people know somebody, sometimes they have a friend, sometimes they have a family member, and things of that nature. So, but as far as the illustration goes, we definitely can do it for you.
Okay, so what I hear you say is that I should stick with the book first and not do like I could probably do a 30-day devotional type thing because I have enough material to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So should I just complete, I mean, should I just throw that together first, like put them all in like a 30-day, whatever you would call it, devotional, kind of a thinking man's devotional type thing, but it's really just short stories that make you think.
Yeah.
Should I put like 30 days together worth of that together while I'm working on my book?
How close are you on the book?
Halfway.
Okay, you're halfway. So what's your time frame, do you think, to be finished? Is it more than 30 to 45 days for it to be finished?
To do it well, yes.
Okay. Then yeah, if you're still a month or maybe 2 months away from having a completed manuscript, if you can do the devotional, some kind of splintering, something like that, some kind of curating that you can do, because you don't want to wait until it's all done to do the marketing, to do the curating, to get the word out, to start using your content and your copy to create the connection and create the relationship. So if you're a month or two out from being able to publish that, or at least start that process, and this devotional that you're talking about won't be a huge distraction, then absolutely. If it's something that you can, knock out in a week or 10 days or something of that nature, then I think that would be fantastic. Because the other thing is, if you create the devotional all at once, not only could you put it available for people to just download like on your website and then kind of automate that process, you can also, how long would the devotional be? It'd be 30 days?
Well, I mean, I could probably do, I don't know how many I've put on the community page, but I meinto yeah, 30 days. That would be pretty easy for me to do, going through my journals.
So you could put all of that into the ebook per se. I'm not going to call it ebook. You're going to call it something else on your website. It needs to say, like the copy needs to say, download my devotional, and then you're going to curate the devotional. So if you've got a 30-day devotional on your website, people can put their email in, click it and download it, get access to it immediately. Then you're also going to take every single one of those and you're going to take the exact same copy and the exact same graphic, and you're going to just automate it for the next 30 days. Do it all at once, or at least within a couple of days, so that you don't have to spend time doing it. You just take every single one of the devotionals, schedule it on Facebook, schedule it on Instagram, schedule every single one of those, and then you can go right back. I'm going to recap here in a minute. Go right back to your writing. So you take the devotional. If it's 30-day devotional, go ahead and knock it out. We're not going to call it an ebook. You're going to put it on the website that's going to say download my devotional. Use the copy, use the module 3 training on how to put your headline and all that. And then take every single one of those devotionals, and just schedule them out as individual and independent calls to actions, curated content that's going to bless people. And then what I would do is probably every 3 to 5 one of those posts. And Linda, are you VIP publishing?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll get the advanced class on this, but then right underneath it, you could just put the download to your link. So whatever your website is, .com/ the name of the devotional. So every 3 to 5 of those posts, you're going to put the link so that they can go to the website and they could download it. And then you go right back to.
Okay, great information. So my follow-up question would be, in an ebook form, where I use pictures, because of the picture I see in my mind, I try to find the closest thing that I can find, copy, and carry. What does that look like in ebook form? And is it as impactful? I know it is, like scrolling through Facebook, it has a lot of impact. Does it have the same impact in an ebook?
I think so. But the thing is that the curation of the content is what creates curiosity and creates the ideal audience for both the ebook the devotional and the ultimate intention, the ultimate goal of taking them to the purchase of your future work. So the curation is what helps you identify the ideal reader, the ideal customer, the ideal your buyers, your following. So that's going to give them enough that's going to want them to go like, oh, I really enjoy these posts. So now with my name and my email, I can get access to a 30-day devotional that's for free. Absolutely. But as far as the formatting goes, is putting an ebook, it's really, really simple. And I'll show you how to do it. It's really, really simple. Like you would have, like, I haven't seen it. So I just, off the top of my head, you're going to have your piece of copy. I don't know if you have any kind of activation or if there's any other kind of, trigger or call to action in that. And then you just have your graphic and you keep it all in just one spot. And then they can go to the next page and the next devotion. Really simple, really, really easy to do. We'll definitely show you how to do that in the VIP. That sounds like a pretty simple process. And the curation is what's going to attract the right people to your devotion, and the devotional will be what's going to attract people to your other offers and your book.
Well, the book is a lot different in nature than the devotionals. And I have a question about the devotionals because I very often don't use a scripture. They're parables. And so it's for the reader to kind of deduce. So do you call it a devotional, or is there another frame I can put it in? Because they're really short stories. There are a couple of paragraphs. It's a little journey. It's a little adventure. And maybe I should put scriptures, but there's multiple scriptures I could put to go with each one to call it a devotional. Did I ask a question that you can answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if it's not a devotional, don't call it a devotional. We don't want to call it a devotional if it's not a devotional. So I probably need to get my hands on the content. I need to see it to have a better understanding of what the story is. But honestly, creating some kind of title, some kind of call to action. It's kind of like, just really quickly, we try to encourage people, like, don't call everything that you do on your website when you write a devotion or you write some copy or you write some content a blog, because not everything that you write is really a blog. And quite frankly, a blog sometimes is a boring idea for people. So you can call it a blog if it's a blog. You can call it articles if it's an article. You can call it an ebook if it's an ebook. You can call it a devotional if it's a devotional. But if it's actually a story that almost has like these micro episodes, and that's what it sounds like it is. It's like small little episodes, small blocks of a bigger story. Is that right? You're taking people on a small little journey, or what?
Okay, so like for instance, my last post is called "The Blood Claim." That's the title of it, and it's a story of just Jesus going to hell and the halls of hell being smeared with his blood. And it's a modern day take on "It's Finished."
Okay.
And so the story is only 2 paragraphs long, and it's like a micro story.
Okay.
But it's a modern day take. A reader could digest it without being inundated with scripture.
Okay.
And yet it's full of scripture. Does that make sense?
Like a Pilgrim's Progress kind of a thing, sort of, kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Linda,
so what do I call it?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but where are you taking people? Where are you taking them? Where are you going to take people in this story?
So my goal is I love to take people on an adventure, a thought walk. I like to take people on thought walks to think about God in a different way than they've seen God before. Scripturally sound, but I want to take them there without shoving something down their throat that's not chewed.
Okay.
I want them to have a different framework for the intimacy that you can have with God.
Where is that walk going? Where's it going?
It's going closer to God.
Okay.
I mean, to know God, about knowing God in a non-threatening, not that God's truth is very clear, but I think so many people view a relationship with God as he's there and I'm here. And I want to make it more real for them, more relational. It's about relationship. It's about a conversation.
And so you do that in the book, and then you're doing that, or you intend to do that in whatever we end up calling this, the devotional, the ebook, whatever it is. They both have the same outcome, the end goal of where you're taking people. It's a walk to knowing God more, better, more intimate. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the book is a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of fantasy, because in the spirit world, and you don't know that that's the case, I become an owl. And the strength I have in the spirit is different than the natural. And so it's a word picture of who we are. And yeah, so I have like too many things going on, Jeremiah. Too many things. But the word pictures, the stories that God gives me, like sitting at the desk. You know, he said, I set up a desk right beside me for you to write. You know, and you ran off with your writings and you gave it to your friends. So it's a story about God's relationship with us. It's a little micro story.
Yeah. So I
don't know what to call it. That's been my brain.
Okay, so I think that whole concept has to get crumpled up and tossed. Like, it's not a blog, it's not an article, it's not an ebook, it's not a devotional. You just need to call it what it is, whatever the title is, and then it's basically a micro piece of content of the big picture. So, for example, it's a different type of way to think. It doesn't have to be in that structure of, oh, this is an ebook, or this is a devotional, or this is what it is its actual story. So what it has to be called, what it has to be labeled, what it has to be named is, think of like a movie, right? We don't have to, oh, do I call it a movie? Do I call it a story? Do I call it a play? Well, if it's a movie, it's a movie. If it's a play, it's a play. But people aren't stuck on that. They're not stuck on, oh, it's it's a movie. They know it's a movie. But what actually gets people, what creates the hook so that people start to consume the content is going to be in your headline and your subheadline. And that is where you're telling people, this is where I'm taking you. So you don't have to call it an ebook. You don't have to call it a devotional. You could literally are creating a micro book, it's really a micro book. It's a micro book, but we don't have to worry about what we call it. It's really what is the
prophetic in nature. I see the movie reel in my head, and I'm like a court stenographer. I see the movie reel. I write it down. It's a word picture. So that's what stopped me from moving forward, because I don't have a classification for it.
Yeah, I don't think you need a classification. I think you need what is the finish line of the journey. Yeah. Even if the journey continues, every great story, every great movie, everything that people really are going to pay attention to, even if the reel comes to the end, it's still, there's a part 2, there's another episode, there's some kind of a cliffhanger. So I don't think you have to worry about the classification. I think you just have to clearly articulate what it is and where you're taking people. Where are you taking people? What's the outcome? What's the after state? So if it is something like a walk, it's a journey about intimacy, you use all of that creativity. So can you put the whole micro book, the 30 days, the whole thing, can you put it into a 25-word summary? Because if you can put it into a 25-word summary, like the unique value proposition, boom, you have exactly what it is, because you're dealing with a pain point, you're dealing with a before state, you're dealing with an after state, and you're dealing with the before and after emotions. So if you can put the 30 days and you can put even the book into a 25-word description, a summary, then you have it. You have the title for it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. It does. It's about organizing and sorting through. And maybe I don't need a title. Maybe I just need to call it the Thought Walk.
Yep.
Let's go on an adventure together. And because at the end of the day, that's really what I'm doing. I'm taking a short walk with God. And at the end, there's a little bit of a twist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never what I expect it to be when the last sentence or the last two sentences of the walk end.
Yeah.
And then we take a different walk.
Yeah. You've got this story with these little episodes. So you have hooks and you have intros, but then you have cliffhangers, at the end. So don't get caught up. I wish we would have started with this, but don't get caught up in the classification of, is it an ebook? Is it a devotional? Just toss all of that. You're telling this story. You have that. You can start with that summary and you name it. And that's what you call it.
Okay. Sorry to take time. Thank you for helping me sort through that.
That's great. That's fantastic.
I appreciate both of you very much.
That's good. I'm excited.
Okay. I'm really excited.
And when we get your questionnaire and we get your manuscript and all of that, we're going to have a lot of other feedback and some ideas and some thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I formulate it, you just want me to copy and paste pictures that I find that match up the picture that I see in my head for the 30-day storytelling time?
Yes. You do the copy first and then do the picture.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Linda. Excited about that.
Yeah. I've seen Linda's stuff inside the group. A lot of creativity in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we are out of time today to let anybody else in. Apologize if you were in line. We have our 1 hour of Unlocking Your Life is up, but just to bring a little bit of closure to really what we were talking about, and we'll continue on this tomorrow. Unlocking Your Life tomorrow, 12:30 to 1:30. Again, you are a messenger. Right? This is part of your calling. This is part of your stewardship, and you are the greatest marketer behind your book. You can have lots of money for ads. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing and still never connect with people. It's really all about that particular connection. People don't buy the book. People don't buy your product. They buy you. They buy the conversation. And as they buy you, and they buy into you, and they buy into where you're taking them, they start to see that character of who you are and the character that's being developed and the role that you play in their life. And they begin to learn more about you. They begin to learn more about where you're taking them. And that is powerful. So again, this is why marketing is not closing sales. This is why it's all about opening and starting conversations. So tomorrow, as we do Unlocking Your Life, we'll do part 2 of the mindset. Part 2 of the mindset is thinking long term. Closing thoughts, Dr. Nelson.
Oh, I just love what you mentioned earlier about it's not about perfection, it's about connection.
Yeah.
And that is so true. And if you can dare to allow people into your imperfections, to where you dare to just be so real and authentic that maybe you fumble over your words sometimes, or maybe you do cry, or, now you're making a real connection. And that was the aha for me when I just decided to just be totally undone, real, not take myself too seriously, and realize that people matter. you know, people matter so much. And I want to connect with people. I want to reach people.
Yep.
And that's going to mean me not worrying about fumbling sometimes over my words, over in just literally walking and tripping or something, you know, just being real. So make that connection, dare to be real, dare to be authentic and transparent. Let people in, you know, let them in to your, you know, your heart, your world, what God has given you to say, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yep, absolutely. And the identity crisis that everyone has to go through, it is completely as a result of the leaning on the Lord. The more you lean on the Lord and get your strength from him, the freer you get to be you. It's not this worldly, philosophical, like, you know, oh, just be you and do whatever you want. No,
Right.
That's not what we're talking about, because that's yucky too. If we have a world full of people and full of Christians just saying, oh, I just got to be me and I'm just going to do my own thing and do my own, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about actually we are dead to and alive in and through Christ, but we get to lean on him. And my identity changes and my thoughts change and the way that I do life and the way I behave and the way I treat people all changes because I'm leaning on him. I'm no longer getting my identity through the money I make or the money I don't make, by the friends I have or the friends I don't have, by my worldly successes that I have or the worldly successes I don't have. All my identity is coming from the relationship that I have and that he has initiated. So, and that's what we're talking about. That's what it's all about, rock and roll. So we'll be here mañana for Unlocking Live. Cut out the noise with us, and you can join us live. We've probably already got people in the queue for tomorrow, but you can join us live tomorrow. We'll be here from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Central. We love you. Have a great day. Kissy, kissy,